Namaste and welcome to the Pi podcast. Try this pronunciation, sorry. Whoops, that's ironic. Mispronounced pronunciation.
She's asking me. Show her the door. Show her the door.
Have you answered the questions?
No, he was like, you're a master. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I need my makeup.
एक मिनट भी मेरा पैर सो जाता है
And I need to sit over there, man. I cannot sit there. It's literally giving me. These are off, right?
Namaste and welcome to the Pi podcast. Today I'm joined by Rishi and Asheen, who are our maestros when it comes to everything IELTS. We'll start with Rishi.
Well, my name is Rishi and I'm currently teaching IELTS. And English is all about comprehension skills and understanding the language, not about having knowledge to deliver IELTS exam.
And Asheen, welcome.
Hi Nick. So I have been into IELTS training for the past 6.5 years now and have been able to explore both online as well as offline platforms. So I'm here to share my experience and a bit of misconceptions about IELTS exam today.
Well, you're both very welcome. So here we're going to talk about the importance of the IELTS exam, what sort of doors it can open for you worldwide. Let's start with you, Rishi. Can you just give us an overview of what students will expect to see in the IELTS exam?
Well, IELTS exams are actually an understanding of your English comprehension skills when you're migrating to an English native speaking countries where English is much expected from a candidate to have a day-to-day conversation with your students, your colleagues, your work professionals. For a student for academic purpose or a working professional seeking a job abroad, right? So they would want to understand if you're able to comprehend and understand the basic conversations between them. So IELTS exams are a much needed exams and worldwide considered exams when it comes to appearing for the exams. You have two modules, one is academic and one is GT. It also has two subsections, one is paper-based exam and computer-based exam.
So there's two IELTS exams, there's the academic and the general. I see. Asheen, what are the differences between academic and general?
So an academic test taker is the one who would be taking admission to any university overseas. So it could be somebody who's a postgraduate or a graduate or somebody who's just passed 12th standard. And for the general training test takers, this is basically for those who want to migrate to another country for maybe work visa, or they would want to get a PR over there.
Fantastic, right. So communicating in a language involves reading, writing, speaking and listening.
Absolutely.
And there are four sections in the test. Rishi, what sort of things can you expect to see in the speaking test, for example?
Speaking test would be basic understanding of English language and your self-introduction perhaps, and it may have 42 varieties of questions. That would be an example of, do you drive cars? A basic question could be. And do you have any particular hobbies that you fancy in your future? Are you in continuous use of those hobbies?
So like sort of small talk.
Small talk, basically just rapport building conversations between two individuals, right? And there would be a cue card presented. It's not a clue towards a topic given to you. There would be placarded information with leading questions, what, where, when and why, all tell your family. And they'll be asking you, how does it feel to receive a gift perhaps, or have you ever given a gift? Just could be basic understanding between two individuals to gauge whether you're able to speak at a length at uninterrupted flow. I
see. So they go from small talk to then looking to give you you have to give a speech.
Speech. Yes.
I see. And is that all?
And it has further questions. Have you answered those questions in a sequential order? Do they make sense? Are you talking in a passive way of addressing? Are they your personal experience or have you read through somewhere? So the speaking module actually has to be your own experience. You can't just narrate because in terms of speaking and writing, the same assessor is correcting your paper. So that person should be able to gauge that the person who's talking to you is actually writing his ideas in the writing format.
I see. So it's not just about just regurgitating information. You've got to give your sort of points of view and your perspectives on things. That's right. So it's sort of testing. I imagine it's also testing your adjectives as well as what kind of the range of verbs that you can use. Yes. I see. So make it as descriptive as possible. Thank you. So it's just a small talk and then you give a little talk.
Talk about mini preparation basically. And then whatever you answer in the topic 2, it will have complex questions to understand the crux of the question, that have you got the gist, and how deep and complex questions and answers can you hold with when interacting with others around.
So it can get quite philosophical maybe.
Yes, it has to be.
Wow, great. So it does require quite a lot of careful thoughts. I think
thoughts.
a lot of people would struggle in their own language, I think, for the question for part 3, don't they?
Mostly people do have heavy MTI issues, and the diction, the pronunciation, the clarity has to be addressed at the first go itself, because the person who has a heavy mother tongue influence, it will reflect while he talks, because it restricts the person to hold complex statements being delivered. Right?
Asheen, what sort of tips would you give to someone then who is about to take the speaking exam?
I think the first thing that the student has to be very careful about is the grammar and the tenses part, because see, this is all about language. We do not have any syllables to take care of, right? And language is quite diverse. So any student who is good with the grammar part and the tenses, I think is a good candidate. But these are the things that can be easily worked on. Apart from that, as he mentioned, the mother tongue impact. So, you know, as a trainer, we need to take care of these things, that the student is not having a reflection of where he comes from, right? So that is one more thing that we need to address. Then pronunciation, of course. Because we do not know whether the examiner is going to be a South Indian, North Indian, or is from a different country. So we need to keep a standardized pronunciation so that the examiner does not misjudge the word spoken, and the student does not happen to lose bands.
That's right. So there's a difference between sort of an accent and your pronunciation of being wrong, isn't there? And yeah, I think you have to accept that, you know, that with people's accents, there are going to be ways that you're not going to say it exactly as the English or the Americans would say it.
No.
But as long as the general pronunciation is clear.
Right.
As long as you sound very neutral and natural, that would be quite acceptable. Because you assess it maybe a Chinese perhaps, or maybe Indonesian, or could be an Arabic as well. Because we do have IDB conducting the exams worldwide.
Right.
So your assessor does not need to be from your own country or from a native American speaking country. So we're not looking for an accent understanding here, it's just the clarity of words and how well can you comprehend your statements.
I see. I mean, from my experience of learning a foreign language, the best way I learned to pronounce things perfectly was to record myself. Would you recommend it's good to sort of play a video of yourself recording? I know it can be quite awful hearing your own voice sometimes, but that's certainly quite a useful tip for a lot of our students, I think. I think especially if they're doing a speaking test with you, we physically film them and then show it back to them. It allows us to give them proper feedback, doesn't it? So that we can actually just pause the video and say, your grammar here wasn't quite correct, or try this pronunciation. Sorry, whoops, that's ironic. Mispronounced pronunciation. So yeah, I mean, and the grammar, I suppose, you know, that can go hand in hand with the writing, can't it? You know, the more you practice your writing, the more you can reflect carefully on your grammar, and you read back your answers, and that can improve that way, can't it?